All right, Anthony on Air Podcast. Welcome in for another episode brought to you by our good pals over at Hero Soap Company. We have a Ghislaine Maxwell update, which is so depressing and such a letdown. Full disclosure.
Get that one out of the way quick.
Yeah, Britney is making some news. Gina Carano, the Mandalorian, Frankie C. A lot of controversy around that.
Indeed.
White House Deputy Press Secretary T.J. Ducklo in some hot water. Boy, with a name like that, you want to avoid any sort of trouble anywhere, right? Ducklo.
You're setting yourself up for Saturday Night Live immediately.
Seriously, Ducklo, more like Sucklo. You know what I'm saying?
I was close.
The Lincoln Project is almost a wrap. A lot of controversy there. And Governor Cuomo. We should have just called this episode Controversy Episode because it is just wall-to-wall garbage.
What a happy episode this is going to be. What about Britney? You skipped over Britney.
Did I skip Britney? We're going to talk about Britney and, of course, Valentine's Day. We'll get into Valentine's Day. And today is a significant day, but we'll get into that again in just a little bit. Let's hop right into Ghislaine Maxwell. We were waiting for this portion of this deposition to be released, right? This was going to be the thing that they were fighting to keep quiet. And it was her personal life, and we heard all these things.
Before you go any further,
yeah,
we need an arrow.
Oh, we're gonna need an arrow. Good. Thanks for Frank for watching out for the visual people. There you go.
There you go.
We're on the Ghislaine topic, my man. That's what I'm talking about.
All right. I'm there for you.
I appreciate that. All the way.
So what's up with Ghislaine nowadays?
So they released this part of the testimony, and it was just talking about giving massages. That was it. It was all it was about. I'll read you the quote. The attorney asked, Did you ever give a massage to anyone other than Mr. Epstein at any of Mr. Epstein's properties? Maxwell responded, First of all, I never said I gave Mr. Epstein a massage. I don't give massages. The attorney responded, let's just tie that down. It is your testimony that you've never given anybody a massage? Maxwell said, I have not given anyone a massage. That's what they were trying to keep quiet?
Isn't there way more serious things she's being accused of than massaging Jeffrey Epstein?
I mean, way worse stuff. Way worse stuff.
This is why this is taking forever.
Yeah.
Because they're worried about the BS. Let's get it. Let's get this done. We know what the problem is. Ask those questions.
So the judge said that she let it go because it doesn't have to do with any sort of private activity. It was only relating to massages, and that sort of material could be out there. So it just goes to show you. So, by the way, and everybody's going to, I was upset when I saw this. Frank's obviously, feels gypped. Everybody's going to feel gypped. This is just another tactic that they're using. Her defense team is using to, like you said, delay, just whatever they can do to kind of like push everything aside or slow things down or whatever. They are going to do all of that stuff. So that's the one thing we can take away from this.
Can't the judge see through this kind of stuff?
Well, she did, and she finally got it out. But even a judge who's, by the way, I think she's been great so far. This judge, right?
Hey, she's doing what she's got to do.
But even with a good judge
cut through the crap already,
who wants to get all this stuff out and give everybody answers to the questions that they've wanted to know, even with that, you still have. Like, it's still a process, and she's still got to go through these things. And if they appeal it or they object to it, she still has to go through all the motions, when they file a motion.
Yeah, I mean, when does the trial? It's July, right? It officially begins in July.
Well, it's scheduled for July. So I'm sure that April, May, June, they'll start coming up with things to push it back even farther,
Has Lawyer Cat been hired by either side?
I don't know.
Because that's who we need.
That's a great question, though. Great question.
Bring some kind of, a little bit of a smile to this heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching BS.
It's a phenomenal question, and I wouldn't be surprised if a call was put into Lawyer Cat. Be like, what's your availability?
You know what's sad? No one knows this guy's real name,
No, he's just gonna be Lawyer Cat.
and we don't even know what he looks like.
It's a good callback to the previous. We talked about this in the last podcast. Some lawyer had his. He did a Zoom. He was doing a Zoom hearing, and he couldn't get the cat.
Filter. He had like some kind of weird
Yeah.
emoji thing that was talking as he talked. It looked like a cat. It was great. Last episode.
And the best part was he goes, "I assure you, I'm not a cat." And the judge is like, "Yeah,
I figured you weren't a talking lawyer cat."
But your wife had a funny meme in our group chat where it was like that. I'm not a cat is the exact thing a cat lawyer would say. Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Especially a cat. Cats are tricky little sneaks.
Cats shan't be trusted. I don't know if again that's an Italian thing or what, but there's not I've not come across an Italian person that fully trusts a cat. I mean,
I think most people, if you don't own a cat, you
Yeah.
don't trust a cat.
no, even Italians who are cat owners are like, just watch yourself around a kitty cat over here. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
You can't be too careful.
I had a cat. My grandparents had a cat when I was little, and his name was Topsy. And they had to lock him in a room whenever company came over because this thing was nuts.
Do you
It was
think
a
that?
vicious thing.
Do you think cats are so unhappy because we give them dumb names, whereas dogs tend to get normal names?
You think they're that concerned about their name? I think they hear their name and they go like, "I'll answer you. I won't answer you. Like I care what you call me."
You're right. Cats are just douchebags to begin with. It doesn't
My
really
name
matter.
is Mr. Chesterfield, and if I hear any other name, I'm not answering to it.
Yeah. So anyway, that is the Ghislaine strikes me as a cat owner.
Yeah, I
yeah.
can see that.
Yeah.
No offense to cat owners out
None
there.
whatsoever. But just know that in your ranks is one of the most despicable human beings ever.
Adopt cats, people. We're not telling you to not adopt cats.
Yeah, no, go ahead and save a cat if you can. That'd be great. But I'll never own a cat in my life. I will never. My
I am a
sister
dog
owns
guy.
cats. Yeah, I'm a dog. I'm a dog guy all the way.
Yeah.
Cats.
Dogs are great. Cats can give a crap about you, for the most part.
The Pet and the Broadway show, don't care for it. Tried it. Can't get into it either way.
The Broadway show, I saw it when I was a kid. That's the only time you see it and appreciate it.
Yeah, because no adult would really honestly waste their money on a piece of shit show. That's what the thing is.
I'm not going to lie. When I saw it as a kid, the cats came up into the audience,
Mm-hmm.
and there was one. I'm not going to lie. I was a kid. I was a boy.
Kind of hot.
There was, skin tight cat outfit
Yeah.
dancing in front of me on the ledge. I'm like, all right, I got some feelings going on.
Wasn't
here.
I there? Didn't we go on a class trip? I feel like we went on a class trip to go see cats.
Were you at that one?
I think that's the only way they were able to pack an audience in is if they convince schools,
They
here's a
plucked in
cheap
some kids
ticket.
from schools.
Yeah.
That's possible. I remember we were kids. I don't remember how old.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was when I knew you, but yeah,
I'm pretty sure I was there.
some hot looking cats around there. Just saying. People cats. Not cats.
There's a nice pussy joke in there somewhere. I'm just not going to make it because I'm a classy gentleman.
Janine's not here.
I'm a classy. Janine would have spouted that out 4 minutes ago.
We would have been knee deep in it already.
Knee deep
I
in
would've
pussy
rolled my
jokes?
eyes.
Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Okay. All
I
right.
would have rolled my eyes about 10 times by now.
Miss Janine. It doesn't feel as dirty and smutty around here without her. I miss it.
It wouldn't feel right if it was.
Yeah. That's the Ghislaine Maxwell story. So again, that disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we talk about Ghislaine, it's disappointing.
That's true. Even when there's something juicy in there, it's still friggin' disappointing for the most part. A lot
Is
of
it
people,
Britney, bitch?
a lot of people buzzing about Britney Spears, and this whole documentary. I didn't watch the documentary. This would have been great for.
I watched it.
This is a great. Did you really?
I did.
Oh my God! Well, fill us in. Tell us about it. It's supposed to make. From what I heard, and you confirm this for me, Frank. What I heard is that it made all the press people look like garbage for basically causing all this mental instability in Britney.
The press, Justin Timberlake didn't come off too good in that one. There were a couple of people in her life that were not looked upon favorably. Yeah, but the press, I mean, it's the typical paparazzi stuff. Like, she's had enough. She's just going out to a restaurant to eat with her kids. And the press are literally, like, she's sitting at the table eating. And the press is literally standing like where the waiter would stand at the edge of the table. And there's like a dozen people just snapping constant pictures of her. And she's just sitting there with her kids. And you could see the like desperation in her eyes of, I just want a minute alone with my kid. We're just sitting at like a Chinese restaurant trying to eat dinner. Just leave. What is so exciting about this? And you feel for her. You end up watching it and going, this poor girl. I mean, yeah, she wanted the fame. She got into it and she loved it. But then she's got her kids, and it just, the hounding just didn't stop. And I don't mean like, all right, the press is there at like events, which is fine, which is where they're in her life constantly. I mean, they didn't give her a moment.
Now, was this a flashback to years ago, or?
Yeah, this started, it goes from when she was a kid, and she starts out like doing Star Search. Even when she did Star Search, like, no offense to the late Ed McMahon, but you heard his question to her, and it was a little creepy. His question to her was along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was along the lines of, "Oh, do you have a boyfriend? Are you interested in boys?" And she's like, "Oh, no, not really, whatever." She goes, "Oh, not really, you don't like boys. They could be mean." And she's like, boy." She goes, "Boys are mean." And he goes, "Well, what about me? Do you think I'm mean?" And she's like, "I don't know." It's like so like, oh
Creepy.
so
Creepy.
weird.
Yeah. Daytime
And she's
hosts
like 9
in
years
the
old.
80s and 90s were just creepy.
I mean,
Even Ed.
she's like, "I don't trust boys. They're mean." She's like, "Well, you trust me? I'm not mean." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know." But
So what did Justin do? Because he apologized today. He came out today and publicly apologized and said he failed her.
Yeah, when they dated for a little bit, and then when they broke up, he wrote a song, "Crimea River." It was about her.
Oh, was that? Okay.
Yeah, and he also did a bunch of interviews and stuff. And she had this image of being a nice girl, and
See, now I thought Justin was just apologizing for making her listen to his music because that's worthy of an apology.
we all need apology. Then I mean,
I'm just, yeah.
we were all subjected to that, but he apologized because he went on a bunch of interviews, and he was. They asked him, "Oh, did you get to bang Britney?" I was like, "Yeah, I banged Britney." It was very misogynistic and just ridiculous. And she was like, "Dude, what the hell? I didn't do anything to you." And you feel by the end of this thing, you feel so bad for her.
That's
the whole conservatorship.
That's the vibe that everybody says, and also by the way, that's what press was. That's what press was like. Late 90s, early to that, like everybody was asking, "Did you bang Britney?" Like, what else were you going to ask Justin? Like, I'm not surprised to hear any of this.
There's got to be. I don't know what laws exist at the moment for paparazzi, but there's got to be something because literally they're not doing anything. Britney is like with her kids at the gas station filling up her car, and they swarm her. And it's like, dude, she's not at like an event. She's not hosting something. She's not doing anything significant.
Yeah, it's so strange because, and here's the thing, here's where I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. Yes, it's the paparazzi's fault, but that wouldn't exist. The paparazzi wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the fact that they take those pictures, sell them for money. And those pictures are so valuable because people buy the magazines and go to the websites and do all those things. So really, at the end of the day, it's kind of the public's fault. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people pointing fingers going, "Oh, that paparazzi's so awful." And then clicking on over to Perez Hilton being like, "Oh, I wonder what so-and-so is up to." It's like, well, we're kind of we're the beast that needs to be fed.
Which is fine, but there are other ways to get the information. These people have publicists. These people have people that speak for them. These people have events that they go to where they answer questions, which that's where they should get their, all their info. You can't just run up to 40 people running up to a woman and her kids
I agree.
surrounding her.
I
That's
agree.
insane. There's got to be laws with that.
I wholeheartedly agree that it's disgusting behavior that these people do this, especially with the kids around. I'm especially sensitive to the kid thing. But
Exactly.
at the same time, there's something innate in us that we don't. A shot of Britney on the red carpet is interesting. A shot of Britney pumping her gas is kind of even more intriguing.
Why?
It just is. It just is for people. People want to know, oh, what is this like? What are they like what are they wearing? What are they when a star is doing an average ordinary thing, there's a built-in curiosity to us. It's why we like behind the scenes documentaries. It's why we follow people who vlog or are on Twitter and or Instagram.
Yeah, but who needs all of that if you got morons running up to people? If you got morons running up to people, I mean, it's not like they snap one picture from afar and they leave. That I could sort of get. But they'll like, Britney, what's going on with this? What's happening here? And she's just
so annoying. I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'll answer some questions, but you gotta, and then especially when they're like leaving a place and they're just trying to get to their car and they're like, guys, can you move?
Yeah.
There's got to be laws. You got to be like 10 feet away. That should be law number one. At least 10 feet away. You can't be on top of them. If you're 5 feet, if you're 2 feet in front, if you're blocking where they're walking, that's a fine or something.
Yeah, I like a 10-foot rule.
10 feet. That. Give them 10 feet of space so they can get where they're going. They can usher their kids to where they have to go. They can get to their car.
Yeah.
You want to snap a picture, they're out in public. Maybe fine, but like bombarding them with questions, they don't have to answer them, but give them some space.
I agree. It's awful, but I guess what I'm just saying is we bear some responsibility for.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If there wasn't such a demand for these things, paparazzi wouldn't have a job. But I mean, if they put up a picture from 2 years ago or a picture from yesterday of Britney Spears, I guarantee you, no one's going to know the difference.
Right.
Just saying. They need a new picture of Britney Spears. Unless you did something wacky and shaved her head again or, put on 200 pounds. You don't need, all these pictures. How many pictures do you need of Britney Spears?
Yeah, I know. It's.
And if you watch the documentary, it's worth it. It's one of the 60-minute, I think. I forget which one it is. But it's an episode of that show. It's not a stand. It's like a, one of the episodes in a series of documentaries. But it's a good one. It's worth watching. Gives you a little glimpse into the conservatorship stuff. She had a little breakdown, but she's touring. She was doing not touring. She was doing all these shows. She seemed to be in control of that. She seems to be well enough to do these shows and perform. But she's not well enough to accept money for doing those shows and be in control of that. So it's weird.
It sounds weird. There was a spectacular documentary on HBO that Adrian Grenier did from Entourage. I think it's on like Amazon now. You can look it up. It's called Teenage Paparazzo. And it's all about how, as Grenier was going out, he saw this one paparazzi kid. And it turns out he was 14 years old. And so he was like, what are you doing? And so the kid like explained to him like, hey, there's a lot of money in this. And so Grenier decided to go out and be a paparazzi, like see like what is it like and get inside. It's so friggin' interesting. It's the best paparazzi documentary I've ever seen. So if I
don't get it. I feel like being a paparazzi should be part of a bigger job. Like if you're a writer of stories, I have to go get a picture of Britney. I call a publicist. Hey, can I get a picture? Can you guys send me a picture or can I come over? That's the way it should go. It shouldn't be, I'm at your kid's school waiting for you to pick up your kid. Let me take a picture.
Yeah, that's messed up.
It shouldn't be that.
You got to see these guys, hiding and catching people on a beat because that's what it is. Like, if I can catch you on the beach, if I can catch you in a bikini in your backyard, like it's more valuable. People want to see that stuff.
But that stuff should be. Why does it have to be stuff that the person the subject of the picture doesn't know about? Shouldn't it be like, hey, I have
Because
the number to
it's
all
just
these
interesting.
publicists.
Like if I said to you, Frank, I got a picture of George Lucas writing Star Wars. I actually got a picture of him writing. He's in his underwear. He's writing Star Wars. Do you want to see it? Do you want to see that moment where he came up with Chewbacca? He's writing in his
Did
underwear.
he approve of that picture, or
No,
is he
I
like
snuck
totally
it.
completely against it and
I
hates that
snuck
picture?
it. I snuck it. I got it.
And he knows you got it and says, I'm against that picture.
Doesn't matter. I don't know. You wouldn't want to. No, I'm not talking about it. I'm saying I have a picture of George Lucas in his underwear. The moment he realized I'm going to write Chewbacca, would you want to see it? Yes, you would.
I'd probably want to see it, but
Yes.
I would want to see it, but I don't want to see George Lucas in his underwear, to be honest with you.
Well, you already answered the question, so.
Yeah, all right. But I know how he came up with Chewbacca anyway.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's in us. It's part of us. We want to see it.
No, I get it.
I wish I was better.
There should be laws.
Yeah.
You know what? If I'm a paparazzo, I have to call. Let's say it's I don't know. Let's say it's Britney Spears' publicist. I have to call the publicist. Like I have a Rolodex, or everybody on my phone is.
I get it, but it's not the world. The world's not organized that way, and I don't think Hollywood will ever be. Well, because the other side of this too is, and by the way, I don't want people coming down on me. Like I agree with Frank in spirit. I just don't think it's possible to actually do, because the other side of it is Hollywood plays that game just as much as the paparazzi do.
How?
Because they need them to get stuff out there. You know?
Yeah, when it's like these people, let's say Britney Spears, she has her life. If she's going out with her kids, and let's say TMZ calls her publicist and says, "Listen, I got a story I'm doing on Britney. I could use a couple of candid shots." The publicist runs it by Britney. Hey, is it all right if this so and so gets a couple shots?
I know, but you're talking about thousands. Those requests are never going to stop. There'll be thousands of them.
Yeah, you don't have to accept them all, but that's the way it should be.
I mean, what is that? When the cat's out of the bag, you can't put what is it? That saying? You can't put the water back in the bottle or something?
You can't unring that bell or something?
Yeah, we've gone past it. There's no getting it back.
You can.
There used to be a time.
You throw a law out there. Listen, you can't take a picture of a celebrity if you're in publishing.
Yeah.
Or if you're in media. You can't publish a picture unless it's approved by that celebrity. That's it.
That would be interesting, because the way the law is right now, the person who takes that photograph owns that photograph, not the person who's in it.
Well,
that's the law right now.
What if that person is standing on the street and has a telephoto lens and gets a shot of Britney in her bedroom in a bra? He owns that picture and he has every right to publish it?
Yeah.
See, that's where it's wrong. That's where the law is wrong.
There was something with, who was the Erin Andrews? Somebody stuck a camera through her peephole, I think, years ago.
Yes.
Remember that?
She was in a hotel.
Through a hotel, and took pictures of her naked. And I think there's a privacy thing with nudity. So there might be a little bit of a thing there where they have.
So if she had her bra on, it would have been okay?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I know
that's the kind of stuff that doesn't make sense.
I know that there's been issues where artists, or like even artists, when they credential photographers at shows and events and things, like, so I've been like, even those things get dicey because they don't own the photo, the photographer owns it.
But you know what's messed up? If that photographer was caught doing that, he could be arrested for peeping or stalking or whatever. But the fact that he has the picture already, nothing illegal?
It's a messed up, it's a broken system for sure.
That's got to change. There's something wrong there.
Yeah.
Sorry, but like a picture of a celebrity that isn't like, if you're at I get it, if you're at like a red carpet event and there's millions of pictures being taken, that's you giving your permission for people to take pictures. You're there for that reason. But if you're on the street, you're at your kid's school, you're in your car, you're in your home, and someone snaps a picture of you, you can't post that without me saying that's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Again, it's something that would vanish. People would stop doing it if they weren't making so much damn money
You
doing
can
it.
still make money from it.
I'm just
You
saying,
just got to get. You just have to get the okay. That's
if
it.
all of us stop going to TMZ and People Magazine and Pres
No, why would that
Hilton
stop?
and all these things, if we stop looking at them so much, because that's the thing, the approved shot of Britney in the whatever gets like 1,000 views an hour, and then the behind the scenes thing gets 10,000. So that's why it is the way
Behind
it
the scenes
is.
is fine if it's approved.
Yeah.
If Britney says, yeah, you could show that. But if she says no, that's her. That should be her right to say no. You can't show that picture
Well,
of me. I need my privacy too.
The
I'm
thing,
a person.
the thing from this is I think we're seeing for the first time in a long time, maybe since Princess Diana, because when Princess Diana died, there was a lot of this paparazzi backlash. Like people really started looking down on it negatively.
Yeah.
The mood and the vibe of the country with this is they're really feeling bad for Britney, and they're starting to understand where this is coming from, and so maybe people will slow down with some of those,
I hope so.
those
Because
habits.
if you watch the Britney documentary, it's sad. It really is. And like she does these interviews, and these people that interview her they ask her questions that make her cry, and it's terrible. They ask her questions like, are you having sex? Are you all these like personal questions? She's like, I'm 22 years old. Leave me alone. I don't want to answer these questions.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. She's a
Yeah.
kid.
It's weird. It's very strange. Like media is very strange at what they feel that they can do. And, people see like an interview, like if you ever see a movie interview where there's like a poster behind them, like most people, maybe I think a lot of people know this now, but just know that interview was one of 300
Oh yeah.
on that day, and it's just like this painstaking process. That's why there have been very few times where I have said okay to do an interview that was part of a press tour.
Because after a while, these people,
Oh,
these actors, celebrities, they're just answering the same question
the
over
same
and over.
question. Even whatever you try and do, if you're number 34 on the day, they've heard your questions 33 times prior. Like even when I would rack my brain, I would come up with maybe one or two questions they hadn't heard. And then for the most part, everything else is because they're trying to plug their project, and so you got to talk about it and ask about it.
What was it like working with Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
I don't know. Same as it was
Stinks.
when I answered it 19 other times.
Yeah, it's just awful. So
I mean, that's their job. I get it, but
it is. And
I
they get to
only feel
live
so
a great.
bad on that, with the interview stuff. But when it's stuff like when you're asking a young girl, about their underwear and shit, it's like, stop it.
It's weird. You know what? It's really weird now when you look back on it.
Yes, that's what I felt. I'm watching it with my wife, and we're watching it going, this is so creepy.
Yeah.
It was the 90s, the mid 90s, and they're asking these questions, and you're like, I can't imagine them asking these questions today.
Yeah.
And it was only 20 years ago.
Yeah. And it's weird because, I love uncensored. Why I love doing this more than, being on regular radio. It's just so much fun to have the freedom to go anywhere. But we're doing that with consenting adults. You know what I mean? Like but it's
Exactly.
It's weird to look back on that time and see some of those things and just go, ugh.
So it's so gross. It's so bad. She's sitting there, but she's like, fine. She's not. She's an adult. She's in her 20s, but she's like dressed all scantily, in like almost like lingerie for the most part. And you got these people in suits asking her questions, and it's like about boys and about it's not about her album or about her tour, about how much fun she's had, keeping it light. It's about, are you with what do you feel about Justin Timberlake? And it's like, she doesn't want to talk about, you're watching her and you could see it in her face. She's like, I just don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
That's tough. But that again, especially when, not to slight Britney here, when it comes to people like I get like if you got Janis Joplin, like you can sit there and delve into the material. Like, how'd you come up with this lyric and song? When you have Britney, that there's nothing there. There's nothing
No,
there
you
but
could
the
talk about. I'm sure you can come up with a million
how'd
questions
you
that
write
aren't.
oops I did it again? Wait, that you can't that's not
I'm sure you could come up with, as a professional
no.
personality, you can come up with questions that aren't creepy.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody really
No, all your
cares
questions are going to
though.
be creepy.
No, it's not that it's gonna be creepy. I'm just saying there's not you can't do that sort of interview with some of these pop stars. There's the material's not there. It doesn't lend itself to that. And especially
Yeah,
since half of them had 4 people, 5 people writing the songs for them anyway. You
which is
know.
fine. You ask them, how are you? You ask them, are you, going to school? Are you learning stuff? Are what's the life like outside of
I
touring?
know, but nobody's
Anything.
gonna care about that stuff. If especially when she just popped into the news with a picture of her and Justin Timberlake at the red carpet. Look, I'm with you. The
I'm
question
just
is
saying she has a right
the question
to
is
refuse stuff.
the question is for me is how's it going with Justin? Like, oh, are you guys dating? Are we to be like, are you having sex right now? That's a little creepy to me. But to be
There's some,
like,
yeah,
hey, are you guys together or what's going on? I think that's okay for like an
yeah,
of age person to be asking them that.
sure.
You know.
No, but there's some stuff. I guarantee you, when you watch it, you're like, ugh, why would you ask that? And you see her expression, and you're like, today, even what this was 25 years ago, no one would ask this question today, and if they did, they'd be shunned,
Yeah, that's
and it
true.
was bad. This was the height of it.
Well, anyway, the judge in her case overruled her father's objections to ordering the Bessemer Trust Company as a co-conservator of her estate. So the judge ruled that the Bessemer Trust could be a part of this. I think it was going to be like a split decision kind of thing. They had to work together with the father. He objected and he was overruled to that. So they're going to split that 50-50 now. So at least and the Britney fans are so happy. They're like excited that she's going to
Yeah,
have a chance to get out from under her father.
that would be nice. I mean, she needs control of her life.
It's
I
just
mean,
it's so sad when you can't I don't know much about this. So but I just think it's sad when you can't trust your father. Like I would trust my father with anything.
yeah,
Granted, I don't have Britney money to throw around that he's got to manage, but still, like I can't imagine not trusting, somebody like a parent to help you out, oversee something. You know what I mean? Like if I
yeah. I
lost
don't
my
remember.
mind, I would it would be my wife, it would be my parents or whomever. I don't think it's a
Yeah,
significant other for Brittany because she never got well, she's not
she
married.
was married to
Right.
Federline, I think.
But which like none of her marriages ever lasted or even her relationships never lasted
No,
a long time, but
but I think her father was out of the picture for a long time, then came back and now is running the show. That's the problem.
oh, well,
So it's not fair. And people are saying, like, conservatorship is usually for people of extreme mental illness, which she doesn't seem to have. But the problem is, or of people who are really like elderly and can't take care of themselves. That's how they frame it in this documentary.
what if you're not elderly and can't take care of yourself, asking for a friend?
That's fine. Then you could,
Okay.
then you could give up your money to other people. But that's what they're saying. It's hard once conservatorship is placed, is enacted, then it's hard to disprove it. It's hard to take it back. That's the problem.
Got it. Let's go into one of Frank's favorite topics ever, Star Wars.
Gotta love Star Wars.
Gina Carano, who was on The Mandalorian. Are you aware of Gina?
I am.
Was she good in the show?
In the show, yeah, she was a good character. Um, she was, yeah, one of the good guys. Helped out the Mandalorian in a bunch of situations. The character was good. She was also, I don't know if you remember her in not Daredevil, Deadpool.
Oh, she was in that?
Yeah, she was the woman, the bad guy, the bad guy's sidekick, the big woman who had like big strength, like she had the match in her mouth all the time.
I don't know if I remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember her name in it, but yeah, she was the bad guy's sidekick. Um, but listen, you say stupid stuff and you represent a company, you get fired. That's the thing.
This is so tough for me because I absolutely hate cancel culture.
Cancel culture is one thing. This is you went on online and compared Republicans to Jews during the Holocaust.
Okay, see, here's another thing for me. Full disclosure, and I'm on the record as saying this for years. Too many people comparing people to Nazis and Hitler.
No, not to Nazis. She compared the Republicans being oppressed and being judged
Yeah,
by
before
everyone.
we get into her, I'm just saying,
Oh,
like,
okay.
I hate the way people go, oh, this is like Nazi Germany, or oh, this is like Nazi Germany, or that guy's like Hitler. It's like, well, I mean, I get you're trying to say that they're bad or this is a bad situation, but really, though,
I
that
don't think when people say that, I don't think they're being literal. I think they're
no, they're
saying,
not. But my point is like,
yeah,
yeah, but that's like a bit, like, like that's, I feel like we just throw that around so much. It's
it
like,
is used a lot.
yeah, like that's a really bad thing. That was probably
Probably the worst thing in the last,
ever.
I don't know,
Yeah.
few hundred years. I mean,
Yeah.
there was the Crusades, there was the Spanish Inquisition,
Yeah.
the Holocaust was millions and millions of people who died, and that was probably one of the most terrible things in human
All right, let's
history.
let's read some of her tweets. So at the same time, I hate when people do kind of what she did or what I think she did. I'm going to read it now. But I also don't love cancel culture. So let's see. She tweeted, because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. I don't even get what she's trying to say there.
She's saying that people are making people hate Republicans and their political views.
Oh, okay. Hold on. There's the second part of it. How is
Yeah.
that any different from hating someone for their political views?
She's missing the point, number one, of what's going on. And number two, you can't compare anything or anybody to the Jews during the Holocaust.
Agreed.
That is another level of society, of people that went through the worst things possible.
Agreed. But it sounds to me like what she's trying to say is sounds like she's kind of pinpointing why I hate cancel culture, because it doesn't really get to the heart of the matter. It's just like one person says this is bad and then everybody just piles on until that person's life is destroyed. And then sometimes, most of the time, maybe deserved, but then sometimes we go to find out like, oh shit, we had the wrong person or we had the wrong thing, and oh, there was an explanation, and then we go back and we go, but it's already too late. That person's life is ruined.
Well, if there's an explanation, great. But I think the term cancel culture does not adequately describe what we're talking about. I think it's responsibility culture. It's you say something, you should be able to accept the responsibility of the weight of what you said. And some people, they say something and they don't realize what they just said was insensitive and stupid. So people pile on. And when you say it to thousands of people who look at your posts, a large percentage of those people are going to say something back. If you say it to one person, that one person might say something back. But when you get on a platform and you yell it to thousands and thousands of people, those thousands and thousands of people who read it have the right to go, wait a second, that's stupid. Here's why we don't like you.
Okay. I agree.
Am I wrong?
No, I actually agree with everything that you just said, but does that warrant having to destroy her life and make her lose her job?
I don't think her life is destroyed. I think she represents a brand. She's part of a business. She's an actress. She's part of Star Wars, Disney, and all that. And when she puts forth an opinion or something, Like say if I work for Starbucks and I get on top of, I start yelling some racist stuff or something really mean about a certain group of people, or I start spouting stuff, and Starbucks says, "Stop doing that because you work for us and you're also a
Well, but
representation
did
of
they
us."
tell? But did they warn her to stop, or did she just
Yeah,
send a tweet out and then?
this isn't the first time she's posted stuff like
Oh,
this.
is that right? Okay, I didn't know that.
She posts like anti-mask stuff and like
Oh, she's one
just
of these.
a ton of things like that.
Okay.
Not a ton, but a few things that were like very conspiracy theorist stuff. So she was warned about that stuff as far as I understand. And then she goes on and on, and then sorry, you're fired.
If she was warned about it, I'm with you. Like if they say like this is the problem. Like see, this is and Mike Lindell is going through the same thing. I can't imagine what his pillow business is doing right now because they can't be on Twitter. There's all these things that are happening, and it's like
I'm sure he has a following. I'm sure he has people that are
I'm
supporting
sure he
his
does
business.
too. But sometimes you're kind of just like, just let them sell pillows. Like just be like just do the pillow thing. Like
That's what he should have done.
I feel like if he's gonna do what he's doing, you step aside from your company because the way I feel about this is the way I feel about this. There's some vice president there at the pillow company. There's some director of operations,
Oh yeah, there's a whole group of people. There's a whole thousands of people whose lives are affected by this.
and they're gonna get sunk now because this guy is going on. Like go off and do your crusade, do your thing, but separate yourself from the company because, like you said, there's other people's lives that
Totally.
like if you're doing anybody at work, if you're doing something and then your boss suddenly spouts off like crazy and you're like, holy, I could lose my I got kids to feed and all this stuff. It becomes a different
It's
a
the
different
same thing as when Tom Cruise went off on those people for not wearing masks.
right.
He's like, thousands of people depend on these jobs, and if you're going to mess it up for everyone, then you're selfish and you're being ridiculous.
Right. But
Yes, you could voice your opinion on things, but when you say stuff about Jews during the Holocaust and how everything is that this is the beginning of that kind of stuff, or you're spouting conspiracy theories, and the boss tells you, listen, take that off of your, because on the same page you're posting stuff about the Mandalorian, and on the same page you're posting Disney stuff, and now you're going to start posting stuff about the Holocaust. Maybe make another page, your own private page that nobody knows about.
yeah.
I don't know.
No, I get that. You got to kind of accept especially if it's for me, it changes. I just said especially, which I hate when people do that, especially if you've been
They shouldn't
warned.
say a whole nother.
Yeah, if somebody comes and says, "Hey, like we're not really crazy about this," and you're accepting the paycheck from them, there's I feel like there's something of like you have a responsibility then to be that's fair to me. That's fair. If I'm paying you and you're taking my money and I say I don't really love this thing that you're doing, to me that's fair game to lose your job over if you then continue to do it.
And it's not about political. I mean, she may have said, it's my political views, but talking about Jews during the Holocaust is not a Republican versus Democrat issue. That's something completely different. If you say I support Donald Trump, they're probably going to be okay with that because that's your political view.
Right.
But if you say the Republicans are being treated like Jews during the Holocaust or something like that, I'm paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
That's different.
It's different. Boy, I hate to say this. It is different. And again, my preface of I don't love the constant comparison to Hitler and Nazis because
I know that's something we got to steer
awful.
away from. There's no comparison to anything with that.
But at the heart of what I think she was trying to say is that there's something there of where we have this cancel culture and we have this again. It's these human things that we have that I can't understand why. Same way I can't understand why we love to see Britney eating lunch rather than her on the red carpet. It's true, we do. I don't know why we love to just sort of gang up and just hop on and pile on until no end. And Kevin Hart, for me, with the Oscars, was the best example. That's my best argument in this thing, where it's like he made a mistake, he apologized, he moved on, he grew, mission
And his career
accomplished.
isn't over. He's doing great.
You're right, but he stopped thinking the way he was thinking when he made the mistake that he made, and it wasn't good enough for a lot of people online who would not stop with him until he was ruined. And that, to me, is
But he's not ruined.
here's what I'm saying, Frank. This is what I'm saying. The goal of people in this scenario should be to change Kevin Hart's mind. That's not what their goal winds up being. The goal winds up being, and this is a group mob mentality, is destroy that person. And that is what I have a major problem with. You can't tell me I'm wrong.
I don't think that's the majority goal.
I think it is.
Look at Justin Timberlake. He was immediately after this thing with Britney came out, he was vilified. He was like, oh, he's a misogynist. He did all this stuff.
Yeah.
He came out today with a huge apology, and people are like, okay, he took responsibility. He apologized. He owned it. He said, listen, this was me. I messed up. I apologize. I was completely 100% wrong to Britney, to Janet Jackson. It's all my fault. He took responsibility, and I think the tables are turning. I don't think nobody's canceling him.
It's a different. Okay, I hear what you're saying, but where Republicans and conservatives complain about this more is they feel that Democrats and liberals and Hollywood elites have an easier time getting off on these things. Like Justin
Depends on what it is.
Well, but I think that I get what you're saying, but I think Justin Timberlake is more easily forgiven in this sort of scenario than, say, a Kid Rock, who's been outspoken.
So. Depends on what it is. I mean, I think so. Look at Matt Lauer, gone. There's so many liberal, Hollywood elite that have been completely obliterated.
But Matt Lauer was, it's a bit of a different scenario with Matt Lauer. He was caught up in a huge thing that was.
I'm just saying, there's different stories with these things. I mean, if Gina Carano, hold on.
Good.
Okay. If Gina Carano came out and said, listen, I shouldn't have compared anybody to the Jews during the Holocaust. That was wrong. All I'm saying is, and then explained it in a rational, clear way that isn't insulting to anybody, saying, listen, you should be able to have political views and not be destroyed. If you just said something simple,
I think it's a little bit of a double standard. I don't think that conservatives or Republicans get a pass as often as Democrats and liberals in this arena.
I think because to be honest, I've known of more liberal Democrat elites, or I don't know, maybe I'm missing a few, but when you apologize, heartfelt apology, and it's accepted by the parties involved, and everybody's back to square one with it, people sort of tend to welcome you back. If everybody's apologized and accepted it, then it becomes not okay again, but it becomes, everybody's back on the same page. But when people don't apologize, refuse to turn around and say, maybe I said something stupid. Like Gina Carano didn't say, listen, I might have said something stupid. She didn't say that. She's not apologizing for anything. I'm not saying she might not think she has to. She might not see it. Then that's the problem. If you don't see something wrong in comparing a Republican that lives next door to you to the Jews during the Holocaust, then something's wrong. Plus, I made love to this alien the other day, And hey, how are you?
No, I'm listening to everything you're saying. I'm just trying to
good.
get. I got a producer in one ear. I got you in the other ear. I'm trying to get this piece to illustrate my point, and it's just taking a little longer. You know the deal.
I'm just
Frank.
saying,
You can't.
you
Good
mess
help
up,
these
you say
days.
something stupid, you give a heartfelt apology, the parties involved are all happy and forgiving.
Yeah.
I feel like come back. That's the problem. There's there's this cancel culture and all that, but there's got to be forgiveness culture too.
But
When
what
people
I
apologize,
agree. We're on the
come
same
back.
thing. We're on the same page as far as that goes. What I'm saying is that there's a bit of a double standard here when it comes to Republicans and Democrats and what you're
When they
saying.
apologize, then we'll welcome them back. Show me a canceled Republican conservative who apologized and wasn't welcomed back.
No, I think in this particular instance, Democrats and liberals tend to pile on more. And in the grand scheme of things, especially like with Hollywood, and this is to the point of why we're bringing up this story today, you know, they're not as, like, Hollywood tends to lean more liberal and you know, and
Well, yeah, they do, but they're not. I feel like it's not your views; it's how you express them too. It's all. I mean, it's a little bit your views. If you have like Nazi views, then you're completely wrong. But I'm saying is
Okay.
you have to know how to express your views as well.
All right, let's read this. This is a story from the 11th. What is that? Yesterday?
Yes.
About Pedro Pascal. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Okay. He's on The Mandalorian?
He's the star of the Mandalorian. He is the Mandalorian.
Oh, is he one of these guys? He's in the suit all the time, so nobody knows what the hell he looks like?
He's in the suit all the time, but every now and then his helmet comes off.
Okay. Mandalorian star Pedro Pascal. I've not read this. This just got sent to me. I've not read this until right now.
Go ahead.
Mandalorian star Pedro Pascal is having a big week, expressing support for his trans sister on Instagram. Is that a pun?
Okay.
Like transistor? Like transistor radio? Or is that just too... Okay. I didn't get that.
He has a trans sister, probably.
He has a trans sister.
Okay.
I thought that was like a bad news, like, you know how they write puns in the thing. I'm like, what
That
are they
would be
getting?
bad, but no.
That confused me there. Trans sister together look like transistor in my head. All right. What's that thing where you get the everything gets...
Idiot.
Not idiot. No, when the words get mixed up in your head.
Dyslexia?
Dyslexia. That was a little dyslexia moment. The trans and the sisters next to each other messed me up. Okay. Pedro Pascal is having a big week, expressing support for his trans sister on Instagram. The announcement of a new TV role and some Twitter drama in light of his colleague Gina Carano's firing. On Twitter, some pulled Pascal's name into the controversy surrounding the former MMA fighter Carano's recent firing from The Mandalorian, following a social media post in which the 38-year-old actress... Okay. Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans in the future, a spokesperson said, blah, 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 blah. Some conservatives found the decision hypocritical as Pascal, 45, received no apparent consequences for his comparison of Donald Trump supporters to Nazis in a November post that was subsequently deleted. Pedro Pascal, who plays the Mandalorian on Disney Plus, was not fired for his post on Instagram comparing Trump supporters to Nazis and Confederates.
Did he deleted it and apologized?
I don't see anything here about an apology, but
I mean, if he apologized and he came out and said that was stupid or whatever, that's what I'm saying. There should be.
But do you see the hypocrisy there, where he basically did the same thing that she did, and A, you didn't hear a peep about it, and B, he didn't get fired for it.
Well, let's see. Did he? What's it called? Did he apologize? I don't know. I mean,
What difference does it make?
know about
You're
it.
saying because she didn't apologize, that's why she deserves to be fired?
If she's not,
Did
showing
she
at
even
least
have a
bit
chance to
remorse,
apologize?
I don't know. Was I in the room? I have no idea.
I don't know. But this goes back to my everybody should just slow down on the Nazi comparisons altogether.
Yeah, we got to stop with that.
Because that's what we started all this. As Frank takes a look for that, the reason why we brought up the story today was because She was fired yesterday, Gina Carano, who's, can I just say, very pretty. She looks a lot like my wife. I feel like that's why I think I'm kind of on her side. Is it weird to say that she's hot, even though she did something that's not so nice?
You could feel however you want to feel, dude.
Frank, does your wife get more upset if you say a girl is hot, that she looks like your wife, or less upset? Like your wife's a brunette, nice looking woman. If you say a nice looking brunette is hot, does that bother her more, or does it bother her more if you say like a blonde, like a blonde, tall? Your wife is average height, but let's say your wife is short. If a tall blonde, like the opposite of her thing, does that upset her more?
I don't think so. I never say anything like that in front
You
of her.
never ask because you're an insensitive asshole, and she deserves better.
I never ask what.
What bothers her or not?
No, I know that saying something like that in front of my wife is poor taste.
So
If
you
I
just say
said-
it behind her back? Is that what you're telling us? That's
No,
not a nice.
who do I say it to? If I think a woman is hot, I'm not going to go, "Hey, she's hot, huh?" No, that would be insensitive and dumb.
Well, I think
But
you
if
should
she
get your
asked
mind
me-
out of the gutter, especially
Every
on.
now and then, she'll ask me, "Do you think she's hot?"
What do you say? Are you honest?
If she's hot, if she's hot, I'll say she's good looking.
Okay.
I don't say I don't go drooling, but I'll say she's good looking. I'd be, like if it was Scarlett Johansson, you think she's hot? I go, yeah. What do you want me to
Gina Carano. What do you put her at? 1 to 10.
No, I don't want to say anything. She's not my type. Not my type.
I'm gonna give her an 8.5. Also, because she's a former
8.5?
MMA fighter.
She's
Yeah,
a snap you in half, by the way.
that's
She's huge.
bro. If she wasn't an MMA fighter, I would have given her a 7-1. But she gets an 8.5 for the ability to kick the living crap out of me, which I
She
kind
could
of like.
snap you like a twig.
Yeah, I like that. My wife is the same way. My wife could beat the crap out of me too, and I kind of that's part
That's
of the
not really
attraction.
saying much, though. You're kind of a featherweight.
Sure, take shots at me while I'm down. Anyway, so we brought it up while Frank's looking for that other part because she got hired by the Daily Wire. She told USA Today. She told Deadline today. The Daily Wire is helping me make one of my dreams to develop and produce my own film come true. I cried out and my prayer was answered. I am sending out a direct message of hope to everyone living in fear of cancellation by the totalitarian mob. I have only just begun using my voice, which is now freer than ever before. I hope it inspires others to do the same. They can't cancel us if we don't let them. Carano will develop and produce and star in an upcoming film, which the Daily Wire says will be released exclusively to its members as the company looks to bolster its entertainment division. Details are being kept under wraps, but it will be produced as part of Daily Wire's partnership with Bone Tomahawk producer Dallas Saunier and his Bonefire legend banner, whatever the hell that means. But the Daily Wire is Ben Shapiro's outfit.
Yeah.
So
not a fan of Ben Shapiro, but yeah.
What?
Not a fan of Ben Shapiro, but sure.
Yeah, super conservative dude. See, that's the thing though. Like, there's this stigma against him because he's conservative. I mean,
no, it's because he's an asshole.
Is he?
Oh yeah, he's homophobic, transphobic, everything phobic.
Is he homophobic though?
He's everything phobic. I don't know,
Shapiro
but he's
homophobic?
definitely a dick.
I don't think he's homophobic.
He thinks he's smarter than everybody.
Oh, that I'll give you. He definitely does that. But see, this is kind of my point. Like, there are these, and it goes back to my Republicans and Democrats can't get along because they just think the other side is so awful and wrong and terrible, and then nobody winds up listening to each other. So.
Yeah.
I can't defend Ben Shapiro. I don't know everything he's said. He might have said bad things, but I'm not going to crucify the guy just because he's a conservative and he presents a different point of view from what liberals see. You know what I mean? So I'll go and listen to people who I don't agree with. On whatever side.
I listen to them, but Ben Shapiro actually said about global warming, he was saying something like, when I don't know what people again, I can't say word for word, but I don't know what people complain about. When the floods, when global warming happens and the floods, people on the coast, the houses are underwater. Just sell your house and move inland.
No, that's pretty dumb.
Yeah, so I'm going to sell my house that's underwater. I mean, there's a lot of stupid shit that he says.
Speaking of stupid shit, TJ Ducklo, maybe the best name that we have on this podcast today.
It's pretty close.
Vanity Fair reported today that Ducklo, who was the White House Deputy Press Secretary, was suspended today for 1 week without pay for allegedly threatening a political reporter. Vanity Fair has the story. He threatened reporter Tara Palmieri, who was working on a story about TJ Ducklo's romantic relationship with another reporter. White House Press Secretary Jen, help me out here, Frank, Psaki? Psaki? You pronounce the P?
I can't remember how. Let me say.
P-S-A-
see how it's spelled. How's it spelled?
K-I. P-S-A-K-I. She told reporters that Ducklo has apologized to Palmieri and said that he has been suspended for 1 week without pay. Political observers are noting President Joe Biden's pledge to fire employees on the spot if they were found to be disrespectful to others.
Yeah, no, he actually threatened someone how?
He threatened this political reporter who was going to write a story about the fact that he's dating another reporter.
What did he say? I'll kill you?
He threatened them.
Again, threatened how? I'll be mean to you. I won't be your best friend, or I'll kill you.
I don't know, but I think the mere fact
a big difference.
The mere fact of his position to insert a threat to a reporter is grounds to be fired.
Yeah, probably.
Especially if Big Papa Biden's out there going, I'll fire anybody who's, disrespectful to somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, this is just happening today, right?
Yeah, just a few hours ago.
So I'm sure there's going to be harsher punishments down the road. If he threatened someone with physical harm or...
Okay, here's what he said. I will destroy you.
I will destroy you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, there's proof of it, or is he denying it?
It doesn't say. He took the suspension.
I mean, a week's suspension is probably not too harsh if you just want to get rid of something and just move on.
Yeah.
But if he said, yeah, I said it, then yeah, he probably should be let go. You can't threaten people. That's just People 101. If there was a class in college called People 101.
The confrontation began on Inauguration Day after Palmieri, a co-author of Politico's playbook, contacted McCammond for comment while one of her male colleagues left a message for Ducklo, according to sources. Ducklo subsequently called a playbook editor to object to the story, but was told the playbook reporters was told to call the playbook reporters with his concerns. But instead of calling the male reporter who initially contacted him, Ducklo tried to intimidate Palmieri by phone in an effort to kill the story. I will destroy you, he told her, according to sources, adding that he would ruin her reputation if she published it. During the off-the-record call, Ducklo made derogatory and misogynistic comments, accusing Palmieri of only reporting on his relationship, which, due to the ethics question that factors into his relationship between a journalist and a White House official, falls under the purview of her reporting beat, because she was jealous that an unidentified man in the past had wanted to bang McCammond and not you, the reporter that he's dating.
Yeah, this sounds like he should get the boot.
Yep, fire this dude.
Yeah, goodbye.
Ducklo's out. We've decided. Your fate
That's
is
it. The Anthony on air show has decided Ducklo's fate.
Gavels down, Ducklo. You're out, bitch. The Lincoln Project might be out. Lincoln Project co-founder Steve Schmidt has fallen under quite a bit of controversy. The Lincoln Project, for those who don't know, was a anti-Trump super PAC. So they were the ones that they're Republican conservatives who do not like Donald Trump. which again I feel would have grown in numbers since the election and everything that happened there with his behavior.
Yeah.
Schmidt, a veteran Republican operative, is the latest and most high-profile departure from the Lincoln Project, which is reeling from revelations that another co-founder, John Weaver, used offers of professional advancement in a series of attempts to solicit sex from young men. Schmidt's resignation comes amid a wave of damaging stories for the Lincoln Project. The New York Times reported last month on allegations that 21 men that Weaver sent them unsolicited sexually charged messages, one of whom was 14 years old at the time. Can we just leave the underage kids alone?
Come on, man. It's got to be. You should, like, when you're born, insert a chip that pops out when you're 18. Nothing could happen to you. Like, everything disgusting gets rejected and repelled.
Yeah.
This is like, enough with this stuff.
Multiple people have reportedly been contacted by federal law enforcement regarding the alleged conduct. The Lincoln Project said it has hired an external law firm to conduct an investigation. The AP reported that a majority of the $90 million that the Lincoln Project has raised was paid to consulting firms tied to the group's founders and senior staff. So they're pocketing most of this cash. On Thursday, the group's official Twitter account tweeted screenshots of messages between a former senior staffer and a reporter writing a story on the Lincoln Group. Lincoln Project co-founder George Conway suggested the disclosures may have been illegal. That series of controversies led to a number of resignations from the group this week. Kurt Berdala confirmed to Axios that he resigned from the group on Friday. Naira Hack, who signed on to host a video series for the group last week, also resigned. Columnist Tom Nichols said on Friday he was stepping down as an unpaid advisor.
Eesh.
Yep. So
that destroys the entire Lincoln Project.
That's basically, that's basically the Lincoln Project in a nutshell. And this was like the last standing guy, and now he's on his way out. Speaking of last standing guy, Governor Cuomo, who, full disclosure, you're listening to two contemporaries of Governor Cuomo. We are alumni of the same high school.
That's true.
Frank and myself both went to the same high school as Governor Cuomo, although not in the same year. That guy is way
decades apart.
Like almost centuries, if I could be honest with you. We're
close.
So much younger than him. But there is some controversy going on with Governor Cuomo, and the story continues to get worse. They're saying, several reports here are that his administration knowingly undercounted deaths among nursing home residents during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in the state of New York. A top aide for the governor apologized to Democratic lawmakers, saying the administration froze when initially asked by state legislators back in August about the issue. A stunning admission, and seems to jibe with a report released last month by the New York Attorney General Letitia James that suggests that Cuomo's administration undercounted deaths among nursing home residents by as much as 50%. Preliminary data obtained by the Office of the Attorney General suggests that many nursing home residents died from COVID-19 in hospitals after being transferred from their nursing homes, which is not reflected in the Department of Health's published total nursing home death data. The aide, Melissa DeRosa, who I became quite familiar with after watching those press briefings every single day during the height of the pandemic, remarked, "I was explaining that when we received the Department of Justice inquiry, we needed to temporarily set aside legislature's request to deal with the federal request first." She said in a statement provided to CNN, "We informed the houses of this at the time. We were comprehensive and transparent in our response to the Department of Justice, and then had to immediately focus our resources on the second wave and vaccine rollout. As I said on call with legislators, we could not fulfill their request as quickly as we would have liked." DeRosa is arguing that the administration essentially put requests for the New York State Legislature for more details on nursing home deaths on hold while they dealt with the requests for similar information from the Department of Justice. But that's not what she told Democratic lawmakers on a virtual conference call Wednesday. I won't get into the details, but obviously she's changing her story.
So they're saying that half the people over the last year who died in nursing homes. What did they say?
He lied about, they're lying about how many people died in the nursing
Died
homes.
from COVID.
Yeah. And this has always been a thing because it was his call in the beginning to keep people in the nursing homes.
Right. So he's saying that, let's say, I know it's more than this, but let's say 1,000 people died. He's saying only 500 died from COVID.
Right. Cuomo's actions related to the nursing homes have been under considerable scrutiny since May, when reports suggested that his Department of Health blocked nursing homes from rejecting residents based solely on confirmed or suspected diagnoses. Cuomo rejected that report, insisting he had followed federal guidance on that front. New York followed the president's agency's guidance, so that depoliticizes it. Cuomo said at the time, what New York did was follow what the Republican administration said to do. Cuomo announced a new policy on May 10th, saying a hospital cannot discharge a person who is COVID positive to a nursing home. DeRosa's comments will supercharge an already combustible situation for Cuomo as he prepares to run for re-election in 2022. In the aftermath of the report, several prominent Republicans called on Cuomo to resign.
I mean, if you lied about these numbers.
I just, here's my feeling on this. I think part of the reason why President Trump lost was his handling of COVID. I think this will similarly cost Cuomo his job. I just don't know if any of the politicians, no matter what kind of job they did during this time, can survive this thing. I just think it's too big and it was too devastating, and I just don't know if anybody's going to wind up. The problem where I have an issue with my man Andrew here, and again, standards for life, right? But I got to be honest. He went out and wrote a book about how well he handled the whole thing. And I mean, I think he did a lot of good. I think he saved a lot of lives, right? By his actions. They all did, across the board. There was a lot of things that we could have done better. And I'll blame President Trump for a lot of things. I've said this before. He put a travel ban on China and left it there. And this is hindsight. This is Monday morning quarterbacking. But if you're going to do that there, he probably should have done. If you say China, we can't have people coming in from China because they have the virus, and the reports are that the virus is out of control in Italy, well, he should have put a lockdown on Italy too, and he should have shut the whole thing down. It's Monday morning quarterbacking. I know.
A lot of what he didn't do.
I know. And then there was a lot of things that he did do that probably saved lives. And it's the same thing here with Governor Cuomo. There was a lot of good and there was some bad in there. I don't know if they all have enough good in the bank to keep their gigs moving forward. But the fact is that, even if you give Cuomo a 90, 95 rating on how he handled the whole thing, if you're alive and you survived it, you look at this and you go, this is really bad. Really, really bad. And he should have handled this way, way better. Way better.
Yeah. This one part of it, he messed up. He said that what did it cause? Tell me, I'm asking because I don't know. He lied. He said that half the people who died
and he didn't want the Republicans to use it against him when Trump started calling him out for these nursing home deaths. He lied about it and kept it quiet and kept the numbers down. He wouldn't report the real numbers. At the time. He knew them, they all knew him, but he wouldn't report it because he didn't want to give Trump and the Republicans an inroad to criticize what he did. That's wrong. That's
not what you do. Yeah, that's not what you do as a leader. You got to report the facts. Trump was not reporting the facts either, but he got voted out.
And people can criticize, and I think it's a fair criticism for saying that you want unity in those. Like when they were all working together, it was a lot better than when they all started pointing fingers at each other.
Yeah.
So
there's people, The bottom line with these stories, with Gina Carano, Ducklo, Cuomo, is there are ways to handle when people mess up. And there are extreme ways where you lose your job. And then there are not so extreme ways where you get fined, you get a slap on the wrist. And we're struggling to find out what punishment is correct.
Yeah.
Depending on what you did. And there are people that, there are every organization has its own set of rules. Disney has its set of rules. What's right, what's wrong, I don't know. They see someone said one thing, they get a slap on the wrist. Someone says another thing, they get fired. Depends on what they said, depends on how they've been, their attitude through the whole thing.
Overall, Republicans tend to take it on the chin a bit more. That's just...
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, basically, that's kind of what it is. Now, that doesn't mean... Now, see, the problem with that is a lot of really bad people will use that as a defense for continued bad behavior. And that's where you get out of control with these arguments.
Can we get someone... I mean, just give me one person that we don't have to question, that we don't have to, we don't have to look at their history and go, oh, he messed up in 1997, so screw him.
I know.
I mean, can we get one person that we could just all go?
I feel pretty good about. I feel pretty good about the two of us. I mean, I can't speak for Janine. I would love to have that confidence, but I feel like we haven't really done anything awful. There's nothing in my closet I'm terrified about.
You know everything about me. I'm good, but Janine, there's meth there, so I don't know.
Janine, we keep learning new things about all the time. I just can't. I mean, it's great for the podcast, but I can't sit there and go, we have nothing to worry about with Janine. Just can't.
I want to say, before each show, I go, all right, she's going to say something weird. I'm going to pretend to be shocked. But I'm legitimately shocked every time she comes out with someone.
Yeah.
Something.
Oh, yeah. Listen, it is Frank's beautiful wife's birthday, and I am going to go and purchase a Hero Soap Company and send it on over to her.
Are you going to do that?
Only because I can save 20% when I sign up for a subscription. Use the promo code Anthony.
That's still nice.
And because I want to not only buy a bar of soap for your wife, but I want to make sure that an active member of our military gets a bar of soap too. And I could do that. It's basically buy one, get one free. And the one you get for free goes to somebody who's, I don't know, helping keep you free.
That's good stuff. Plus, I think you're saying my wife smells, so I'm not really happy about that.
Well, no, I'm saying that you smell, and it's for her through keeping you less stinky. That's basically where the gift comes into play.
That checks out.
What I would really love to get your wife is
thank you, by the way.
a good, finally get her a good husband is what I would really love to see her get for her birthday one year.
This is the clay with which you have to work with. If you could mold this into a good husband, God bless you.
I'd love to get, if you're a good guy and you're looking for a really good girl, a good woman, shoot me an email, message me, and I'll see if I can hook you up with Frank's wife.
Are you pimping out my wife to?
No.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get her the husband that she deserves is what I'm trying to do.
She has made her choice. And it's this guy right here. Hey, we all make mistakes.
What are you drinking there?
Me.
Did she make that cocktail? What do you got there?
She, by her own choosing, she wanted her to make a Valentine's Day, her birthday kind of drink. So she got this recipe online. It's cranberry juice, Malibu, peach schnapps, citron, vodka, all mixed together, ice.
That sounds like a good time.
Freaking lovely.
Is it Malibu coconut? Is that a coconut? Is it all Malibu coconut? Oh, it's pineapple rum?
I think so.
I think it's coconut. You drunk son
Maybe
of a bitch.
It's coconut. I got to tell you, I've had this glass.
Yeah.
And I had the test run that she made.
The test run. Yeah. It's good. You feeling all right?
I'm floating a little bit. Just a little bit.
All right, now let me ask you a question, and this isn't for your wife. This isn't for your wife. How frustrating is this time for you? Because her birthday is 2 days before Valentine's Day. That's like a lot of pressure to put on a guy.
She's the most understanding person, and
she must be. She married you. I mean, Jesus Christ.
See,
Yeah.
Case in point.
But be honest, isn't it a little, because you got to kind of you can't combine those two things. You can't.
Well, you get two things.
You get two things.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's not a big deal. Because then from February all the way to Christmas,
you got nothing on your plate. Yeah,
not much. I mean, Mother's Day comes around, you get something. You say it's from the dog.
Yeah,
that's what we did last year. This year, we are hoping to have another dog by Mother's Day.
You're replacing my beautiful Bridie already?
We are not replacing
about her?
Bridie will always be Bridie. Bridie is the best. Bridie was an amazing dog. She was irreplaceable.
Yeah.
However, she was a gateway dog. She makes you want to get more dogs.
More dogs.
And she was the best.
Here's the thing. Let me give you some advice. If you don't get another dog in time for Mother's Day, you can still get your wife something. You just sign it from the possum. You'd be like, this is from the possum.
The possum left us enough to deal with. I don't know if I mentioned this when we talked about the possum, but the possum did leave a little present on the floor in the kitchen.
Took a dump on the floor?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's inconsiderate. See, you can't have house guests.
I think I neglected to mention that.
You did.
It was about the size of this pen cap.
Oh God, that's disgusting.
Yeah, we had to disinfect the area, and it's funny because I have this. The thing that it climbed on is the baker's rack, and it was on the top, and it knocked over the vase and whatever. But on one of the shelves is a chess set that I have, and it's like marble, and it's really nice, heavy pieces, and it knocked some of the pieces off. And one of the pieces landed in the possum poop.
Oh, God.
So that piece, we disinfected, bleach, in the dishwasher. We went nuts on this thing. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to play chess on that thing ever again.
My possum really did some damage, didn't it?
It did.
But your wife...
for people watching, go back to the possum episode. It was back in November-ish?
Yeah, if we care and are responsible enough, we'll put a link in, but I'm sure we'll forget.
Probably not.
But you just tell your wife she's the best possum mommy that any possum has ever had.
She treated that possum with respect.
She did.
She did call the people that removed it.
Yeah, that's nice. That's very, very nice. Anyway, get yourself some Hero Soap Company. Use the link in the description below and save 20% on that subscription and support our troops. By the way, not only do they send a bar of soap when you buy a bar of soap to an active troop member, but they also take a little bit of money out of their profits, and they help build homes for veterans returning from war. That's amazing.
This is my Cheers mug, by the way. I got this at the actual Cheers.
Nice.
In Boston.
Nice. It is still 1995 in Frank's world.
Cheers
he will just
is one of those shows that stands the test of time. You can watch it today. With the exception of cell phones, it stands the test of time. It's still relevant. It's all the notes that you'd want it to hit, that you'd want a sitcom to hit. It's hysterical. It's good stuff. TV. I'm also a little, drunk.
This is what, some people get inappropriate when they get drunk. Frank just wants to talk about 90s sitcoms. That's all he wants to talk about.
No soup for you. Is all I have to say.
Some people you got to be like, can you please stop touching me? You're getting a little too close. With Frank, you got to be like, can we talk about anything made after 2005, please?
Pivot. Are you aware of that Friends episode?
No. No.
They're moving a couch.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Ross is going pivot, but the way he talks like an idiot.
Yeah.
And then Chandler goes, shut up. And it's just that's probably the best moment in all of Friends history.
Can I let you go? Because I have things to go and do. Do you wanna do the next 20 minutes by yourself?
What? Just talk about sitcom stuff?
Yeah, just talk about whatever you want.
No.
Okay. Yeah, go spend some time with your wife on her birthday.
It's my wife's birthday. We're going to go spend some time together.
We also should say happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. This is the Valentine's episode, as you can see by the coat rack. Thank God, Frank. Frank is our set designer, man. That's all the set design that goes. None of this has ever changed. At least Frank does some set design for the love
I'm
of
working
God.
with the budget of a zero.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job with it too. What are you doing for Valentine's Day?
Open some champagne. Maybe I'll make a little dinner. Just spending time in the house.
You
can't
cooking the
really
dinner?
go. It's a possibility. I'm thinking about it.
Valentine's Day to me feels like a second Mother's Day. It's just a second Mother's Day where I got to cook the dinner. I got to do all the work. You know what I'm saying?
It is a tad female-sided.
Thank you. Why couldn't you be like this when we were talking about that Republicans take it on the chin more?
I wasn't as drunk as I am now.
Okay, because that's exactly what it is. We all pretend like Valentine's Day for couples in love, but we all really know that the dude's got to do for the young lady.
The dude takes the woman out traditionally. I'm
Exactly.
sure there are very modern couples that split everything and whatnot, but traditionally, the man takes the woman out to dinner, gets her flowers, chocolate, cards.
And I think we should go on a alternative yearly, basis. 1 year you do, the next year your significant other does.
Or should there be 2 Valentine's Days, one in February, one in, let's say, August, where there's no holiday?
I could barely take this one. Please, come on.
There are no holidays in August. Let's get one, please.
Well, yeah, because everybody's on vacation and stuff. They're trying to go away and do some things.
It's 4th of July. Everybody's on vacation.
True. But you got that, what's the Labor Day right there, or the beginning of September.
Every month should have at least one holiday.
I'm convinced that we have Valentine. Like, to me, Valentine's, this was all economically driven. They were like, well, there's Christmas, and then there's, Easter and Mardi Gras and what's it, Passover? It's like
Passover and Memorial Day.
They're like, we can't go 3 months. What can we stick in February? They just made up. And the same thing with Mother's Day and Father's Day. They just kind of looked at it and went, we got to move some chocolates here. I don't know. Let's come up with something that,
I got all these stuffed animals in my house. What the hell am I going to do with these things?
Yeah.
Stick them on a Hallmark shelf and we're good to go.
Somebody a long time ago thought of these all up and strategically placed them where they are on the calendar. You're right.
Job well done. I wish I could create a holiday.
Yeah.
And have it. We should create a holiday.
Could you imagine?
Who's underappreciated in our world?
I just think when you said that, I just think of like, hey, do you know what Tom does for a living? How do he get on this block with this huge house? He's like, oh, he invented, he's behind Valentine's Day. Tom's the Valentine guy. Like, what do you mean? Like chocolates or no. He's got the patent on Cupid. He owns that. That's his.
He looked up Saint Valentine.
Yeah.
And said, this is a holiday. This guy's cool. See, that's a lot of the holidays revolve around saints, I would guess.
I guess so. I don't know.
Maybe we pick a saint and we pick their birthday and we make it a holiday.
Yeah, maybe.
There's St. Joseph's Day, the whole, but we don't have a holiday for it.
But we got a pastry, which is all that matters, my friend.
And that disgusting fish pasta thing that everybody eats, I can't stand it.
No, I love it all.
It's gross. But we should come up with a holiday. All your ideas for holidays in the comments, please. August is the month we need it.
Yeah, no, I like. I hate to take your fun thing and turn it serious, but 9/11 should be a holiday. Like, why is that not Patriots Day? Like,
9/11 should be a holiday.
I
think Election Day should be a holiday. Everybody should be off.
Yeah, I agree with that. We do need more days off. I would love to get us to a 4-day work week permanently. I think that would be so great.
That'd be amazing.
I like, everybody's like, well, I just think that like those massive resets, we'd all even out. We'd all be in the same, some people.
We get all our work done in those 4 days.
Everybody's still working. Some people get the Monday off. Some people get the Friday off. Everybody swaps, and the restaurants stay open, and the businesses all stay. It's still the same deal, but you just.
Yeah, those average Monday through Friday 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah.
Become Monday through Thursday or Tuesday through Friday, and I got to tell you, if I knew I had a 4-day work week, I'd cram it all into those 4 days and get it done.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to work on those 3 days, so I'd get it all done.
Agreed. All right, my friend. I think we've tapped the bottom of the barrel. That sound you're hearing is the bottom. How many more drinks are you going to have? You good?
What time is it?
Don't say
It's
the
Friday.
time. Don't say the time. How many more drinks? You're going to have another one.
I might have one more.
You're going to have another
I don't know
one.
if I can handle one more. These were strong. I'm not going to lie.
I could see it in your face. I'm almost tempted to ask you how you feel about minorities. See if I get the real, all the stuff you say to me off the air.
I love minorities.
Well, that's not what you say to me in text messages.
That's exactly what I say in text message. If I have one message to anybody out there, don't say stupid things anywhere. Don't be stupid. Stop being stupid.
Do you want to share your real feelings on women and how they didn't want? What did you say?
Love women.
They shouldn't be
women
allowed to vote.
Should have more rights than men.
I'll have to go back to the text messages, but there was awful things that you were saying. I'd love to.
I dare you. Go ahead. There is nothing that you can find. I love women. They're running the world. Men are screwing it up.
True words never spoken, my friend.
Telling you.
Words never spoken.
If women ran the world, we'd be much better off.
Yeah. All right, let's leave it there. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I hope you enjoy. Appreciate you guys watching or listening all the way through. AnthonyOnAir.com for that discount on that Hero soap. And to get links and info to the merch store, check that out. Check out our Clips channel.
Check out everything we do. Come on.
Yeah, it's great.
All the stuff he's going to say, just check out all our links. They're down there. You got them.
The only thing I'm really sad and upset about is that Janine is not here to interact with Drunk Frank. I just think that would have been so great.
This won't be the last time I'm
He's
drunk.
hammered off his face.
No, I'm really not.
No, you're a little drunk. You're a little tipsy.
I'm tipsy, but I'm not drunk. I'm not. I'm tipsy. I'll be honest with you. This was a strong drink.
Can you balance yourself on one foot? Can we see? You want to do a balance test?
I'm not standing up, but yeah, I could.
Are you wearing pants?
I'm in my pajama pants.
All right.
I'm saying. And they're elf pants. Yeah.
Let's just choose to believe him. Oh, there you go. All right.
They're elf.
That's good. I'm not wearing any pants at all, so they're good for you. At least one of us is having pants on. All right. We'll leave it there. Enjoy. We'll catch you guys on the next one.